We got 3 major updates in today's video, and most importantly, the Mandalorian, Cara Dune, and Greef Karga are now farmable. Run, do not walk with these characters, as we're going to speculate a little bit about today. And we got huge improvements under the hood for the game, which is important for the future of Galaxy Heroes, and we should see some better graphic overhauls over time. We have a little bit in the game we'll show you in today's video, but first things first, let's go ahead and break down the big news before we get too carried away with the techie stuff. As we talked about before, the developers were saying they spent a lot of the time over the past few months, instead of producing new content, they've been working on overhauling the code of the game, upgrading the engine that the game is based off of. And I've said, seeing this makes me feel confident Galaxy Heroes will be around for quite a few more years, because they're dumping resources into improving the game itself, which will allow them, as we'll read in a moment, improving the game's overall looks and qualities and cinematics that we kind of enjoy, for example, from that recent Jedi Knight Luke event. Before we get into that, I want to start off with what's the most important thing. Man, it feels like kind of just a few days ago where we had the Mandalorian come to Galaxy Heroes. These characters are all now farmable. Run, do not walk. Bookmark these characters, because I suspect probably within the next 2 months or so, or 3 months, we'll probably see some sort of special event that'll either utilize these characters and or just some sort of new characters that are going to bolster the Mandalorian team. We've already made plenty of videos showcasing them. Mandalorian, Greef Karga, fantastic bounty hunters, juicing them up to take on teams like Darth Revan, for example. We've shown plenty of videos in the past. Cara Dune, I was hoping they'd make her a bit more accessible. I have not been too impressed with her, except for random PvE stuff that has Empire. All these characters will be hard node battles. The Mandalorian fleet battles 5-E hard, Cara Dune dark side 5-E hard, and Greef Karga 4-C hard. So farm those characters if you're someone that's trying to plan ahead and get ready for whatever's coming for the new season of Mandalorian coming this fall. I suspect we'll see something. This is kind of following the same beats as typical legendary releases. Bastila Shan comes out, and 2 months later or a month later, after she's farmable, free to play, some big event happens, aka Jedi Knight Revan. So that's the first thing I want to put out there, because I know a lot of people are excited about the Mandalorian, a really fun character, especially important for those bounty hunter factions. But let's talk about this, because this is what stalled us so long from actually getting playable content in Galaxy Heroes. And based off reading this, it sounds like Galactic Challenges is going to come sooner rather than later. My estimates are still going to be late July, but maybe it might come a little bit earlier. No promises. Let's read this, because one of the concerns is Galaxy Heroes going to die? Well, with recent indications from the developers that they're investing time and energy into upgrading the code, it would kind of make it seem like that they want to keep the game a lot longer. It's making a lot of money. It's one of EA's biggest games out there. Generating cash, it would be a dumb move for them to shut it down. So let's read this today. Scheduled tech update 7-9-2020, not a content update. Hi, Holotable Heroes. Today's update improves many of the underlying technologies that we use to create Galaxy Heroes. These significant tech upgrades enables us to continue to support this amazing game for years to come and bring you a Star Wars experience that's better than ever. Hard to see a lot of the stuff right now, but it seems like moving forward, we'll see more of it. It may seem like nothing has changed when you log in, but there are plenty of updates under the hood that allow us for numerous improvements in the future. With a unified toolset and a modernized API, these changes allow us to access more design tools and build a smoother process for developing new content. As we kind of heard time and time again, the tools and the base at which they built the game was from even way before 2015. 2015, the game was released, but they were using tools from like 2012, 13, 14. And this game has obviously lived a long time, so they've been kind of limited by the tools that they've been using in the past. And this Unity upgrade apparently is going to help them. As they say right here, the updated version of Unity, the game engine used to create Galaxy Heroes, expands the possibilities with the designers and what they can do when they create characters and events. On the visual side, this update also enables us to create better character animations and cutscenes that truly capture the exciting moments of Star Wars, besides giving artists more polygons to work with. Tools like a new particle system will improve the visual effects that we can create for everything from character to menus. Some of these improvements you may have already seen in the Mandalorian characters or the Jedi Knight Luke event, and this update allows us to even more in the years to come. Now, I always point out when I'm not impressed with some things of Galaxy Heroes, and I've always been pretty big saying that it's not really on par to competitors out there, Marvel Strike Force, Raid Shadow Legends, yada yada yada. Those games are definitely further in the graphic area of the game. Maybe this Unity upgrade will help them kind of narrow that gap a little bit more, because they always say all those other games use more polygons than us, these are different engine, yada yada yada. Maybe this will change going forward. And then why not couple this update with a large release of characters or a new feature? Basically, the whole point of this is they kind of want to make sure they isolate any potential issues with a content update. I'm not going to read this word by word, but they're going to release this tech update, kind of monitor, see if there's any big bugs, and then a content update will soon to follow. As they say here, we have done a large amount of work to ensure this release is smooth, but we wanted to separate this from any major content or feature updates and isolate any issues before Galactic Challenges is released. So based off this alone, I suspect we will see some sort of Galactic Challenges sooner rather than later. As they said, they kind of promised in the podcast they did. They have until September to release. So by then we should have it, because that's the end of the quarter. But I suspect we're going to get it a little bit sooner. And this is a large, exciting update for the long-term future of the game. That's what I'm most excited about. All this is just mumbo jumbo. I don't really see much of it right now. We have a couple examples we'll point out in a second. But seeing them spending the past few months investing into the infrastructure of the game is a good sign if you're someone worried that this game is going to close out in the next year. It's making a ton of money. It's not going to anytime soon. We decided to provide you with the highest level of service because we believe in the game and the community. Moving on. That's why we have invested time in upgrading the game's technology so we can all enjoy the game as passionate Star Wars fans for years to come. Thank you for all your support. And then, of course, we have all the hard note stuff for Mandalorian we just talked about. Imperial TIE Bomber will be added into fleet data cards. And one last thing I want to point out there before we talk too much about other stuff. There's some potential AI changes that they're doing for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Let's see, updated Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, So we are aware of a recent strategy pertaining to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren in which Fives gains an advantage due to an unintended interaction of Kylo's AI. They're still investigating the issue, and they're planning on maybe taking some action in the near future. If you don't know what this is in reference to, basically Kylo kind of is obsessed with Fives. He is programmed to try to kill off Fives and not use his ultimate ability, not trigger any sort of sacrifice from Fives. And basically, there are some cheese things that I don't know if they're 100% consistent. They do have some degree of consistency. I've tried it myself. Didn't make a video. I wasn't sure it was really that worthy of sharing. But basically, they're going to possibly fix it so Kylo's not as obsessed with Fives' sacrifice ability, and now will act differently sometime in the future. So that's really the main stuff I want to point out there. This is kind of just extra, but really important. And of course, this is more long-term important for the game. It's good to see, but let's hopefully with this being done, we're going to start seeing actual playable content come the Galaxy and this sea of content and characters that they promised us who knows how many Q&As ago. So in regards to this paragraph here, there are a few immediate things that you can notice inside of Galaxy Heroes. Gary, can we bring them over and just showcase it? First things first, I will admit, if you're a BlueStacks player that plays on a PC emulator, like I always do for my Grand Arena streams and videos, in a way, this is actually a degradation or a backward step in terms of quality, because it seems like with this Unity upgrade, it stops you from having high frames per second gameplay. So now we're back to being capped at 30 frames per second. It seems like maybe that'll be fixed through BlueStacks and or Galaxy Heroes. That was one of the great things I'm playing on my PC, where you could play, I was able to play at unlimited frames. I was getting 200 frames per second. It looked juicy. Now we're kind of backtracking a little bit, and I hope the developers do something about that, because high FPS really makes the game look a lot smoother, look a lot more buttery, and we don't really have that anymore. So we have a quick example. We're gonna jump into battle, and one of the immediate things you'll notice as of now, very minor, but we see the health and protection ticks are a little bit different. I don't really know if I like it too much, to be honest. It's kind of it's gonna take some time getting used to. Let's just say that it definitely looks higher quality compared to the bars before, but I often find myself guessing where we are right now. It could just be something I could adjust to, but overall, that's the first major thing I've noticed. We'll hop in to look at some characters, spin them around. We know that's some of our most fun and enjoyable stuff to do in Galaxy Heroes, but overall, the stuff I'm seeing right now, it doesn't seem to be an immediate noticeable difference. It's supposed to improve game's performance. A lot of people have that connection error type of issue. I have only played the update for a couple minutes now. I don't know if that connection error is still going to exist, but I did have some people, like Larry, for example, message me saying that they noticed some subtle changes with, like, for example, Padme Amidala. We're supposed to get more polygons, and I don't know. It's, again, I play a lot of other mobile games. I look at other mobile games. It's hard to see an improvement in this game, for example, but maybe there are more polygons there. But moving forward, maybe they can make their newer characters and events look better. Is it as good as Marvel Strike Force Raid Shadow Legends? No, not quite. Those games are still miles ahead in terms of the graphics side of things. But of course, there's more than just graphics, but it would be nice to see Galaxy Heroes get on par. But I don't know, maybe you guys might be noticing some polygon differences. More polygons means more definition, more details that you can see. But right now, I am not quite seeing it, but I'll take their word for it that going forward, this is going to at least make it easier to produce more content, produce better looking content, and hopefully a steady stream of content for the years to come for Galaxy Heroes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are down below. Again, run, don't walk for the Mandalorian. Something might be coming that's needed. And plus, there are some of the more fun characters in the game, in my opinion, if you're looking to spice up your bounty hunter faction. Like if you did enjoy the video, comment down below on all your beautiful thoughts. And Gary, what do we say? Be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And I'll see all you lovely people in the next video. Gary, roll out the outro. Gary. You guys see what I gotta deal with every single day.